So, thank you, John. You walked us through the journey of starting off in, meditation and how do I create alignment as a individual being and how, your story really shed a lot of light on being responsible, being aware, being the observer. So, and I'm doing all of this, and especially in the last 2 years, the world has become so much more isolated. How do I now expand? Let's say I try to do everything and I reached a certain level, and I know some people get answers from soul guides, and Abhi actually found you transformed during a meditation.
Yeah, at the end of the meditation, yeah, it's like, yeah.
But for some of us that don't do that or don't have access to
Okay.
that, how do we increase our frequencies to that next level? And is there value in, meditating as groups or together energetically? Because you don't, and how do I find a group like that as well?
Yeah, and real quick, can you just share, like, you transformed
Yeah.
via meditation?
Yeah, so I was just meditating, and one day, like almost like at the end of the meditation, I got this thought, like from nowhere, saying you got to go to meet up and just find a group that does this meditation. This is probably on a Saturday or a Friday. So the next thing you know, I went into the meetup, and like right there, like 2 minutes into the meetup, I found this group, and the next day I just showed up, and it was perfect.
Same thing for me.
Yeah?
I chose Dallas. Yeah, that was right at the beginning of January of 2022. Decided to not live in reaction, but actually be response able. Right. That's what I like to do is hyphenate words. So
Yes.
it's response able. So I have the ability to respond to something and
Yes.
being in that level of consciousness. And so when I chose Dallas, You Transformed was actually the first group that I signed up for on Meetup.
That's awesome.
And then Consciousness Growth Society, right, Tanine's group, and like several others.
Yeah.
And then it was the first class that I had, and I mean, I was in tears just sharing my
Yeah.
story at the time,
It's
and
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and that was only 5 months ago. Like, look at how far.
Yeah, and the best part is like once you get in the group, like the level of like there's no judgment whatsoever, right? There's no bias
Yes.
whatsoever,
Wow.
and this is perfect unconditional love from every fellow being, right, in the class. And it's not just a place where you can open up and be yourself, but also a place where you can learn so much from Michael, from John, and from pretty much everybody's experiences. And
Not
they're all
pretty
here
much.
to like
Everybody.
everybody, yes. Maybe just for like in terms of growth and experiences and sharing like their own experience and to elevate somebody who's like just getting here to like to another level, that karate class that you're talking about, right? We can be that karate class that can
Yeah.
empower people.
Yeah, sharing that love with each other
Yeah.
in everything that we do. What we're doing is born out of our intuition, born out of a service, wanting to serve in a way that brings people together and creating a community of people who are resonating with each other in a way that there is no judgment
Yep.
in what we're saying, what we're doing, who you are, or whatever, that there is a true unconditional love that is within the group, working within the group, and that spirit is moving in us in that way. And the most profound thing for us in our group is the ability for us to all align in this group energy that we have.
Yeah.
And the meditations and the things that we do are designed, they're targeted at unconditional love. They're targeted at the heart.
Absolutely.
The first thing you learn when you come into the group is how to open your heart, if you don't
Right.
already know. A lot of people know how to do
Yes.
that, but some don't. They haven't experienced that
Expansion.
heart expansion. So when you come into a group like that and one person expands their heart and the whole group goes into
Yeah.
to open heart and a synchronicity in that energy.
Yep.
It's so powerful. These group meditations, we call it the one heart,
Yeah.
the one heart energy, because all our hearts are expanded together in this one heart energy. And it's such a profound
Absolutely.
peaceful
Yeah,
love.
you may not even you may not even like be open enough to learn the knowledge or the intellectual abilities. Just the presence of being there uplifts your mood and energy levels by a lot, and that can have a profound impact on the rest of the week. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I just feel that too. Like sometimes you just are not available, and just like probably in your own thought process, but just by utilizing that space, that energy is being provided by the rest of the group, definitely uplifts and
Absolutely. It's so uplifting. And, you know, you do these things in a group setting together, and then you learn that, you know, this energy transcends distance,
Yeah.
time and distance, because we work together in these connections with each other. In meditations, like I'm 125 miles off, and
Yeah.
you guys are over here, and we're doing meditations where we're connecting energetically, and with some very, very powerful moving experiences. But the U Transform is set up with all these meditational tools, programs that Michael and I have developed over the years that you can go into, and that if you become a member of our tribe, the tribe has all these meditations and all these tools in it. And I would just say, y'all can tell me different if what I'm saying isn't right, but I haven't ever found as many tools of this type in one area that we've been collecting these for a long time.
Yeah, because the goal was not to just launch a website and just put it out there. The goal was more like to create a library, a repository, and then be like, oh, why not just spread to the rest of the world and empower and uplift people.
Yeah, our whole goal is to empower the world now. I mean, all of us need to do something for the world. We're in service to humanity.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we have been pushed by our guides, by who we are, to start something that was started locally, but now we're being pushed to move this into a global atmosphere and a much, much bigger thing that everyone builds their mastery, and everyone can take this and be a part of it and put their mastery out into the world through our systems. This isn't about us teaching a mastery to you. It is about us giving you the tools to obtain spiritual mastery and the guidance and the mentoring just to get to that spot in who you are.
And community.
And community. The community is huge. 3 or 4 years ago, I've been teaching classes a long time, but my classes were totally different. I mean, I'm going in and doing energy work, but I couldn't talk about higher consciousness. People would walk out of the class. I mean, because of the belief system.
Now
Just
people are
have
coming in
people walk out of the
droves.
Yeah, and now this is the awakening.
Yes.
There are huge numbers of people's awakening right now, and this information is available, and we're finally seeing. We've always wanted the community. We've always been working toward giving this out to as many people as we can that would take it. But there's just been a huge shift in the last 2 years. We were going from 3 people showing up to what are our classes now? 40 people?
Yeah.
We're having 40
consistently.
people in classes.
And that's just locally here.
That's locally,
Like,
yes.
that's the amazing part. Just a few minutes ago, before we started, there was somebody that reached out specifically about this, and it's like we're
Exactly.
having these conversations, and it just goes to show that the energetics are operating separate from time and
Distance,
space,
space.
but it's on that spiritual level,
Yeah.
which is instantaneous
Yeah.
consciousness communication.
And I think when you put the intent of wanting to transform yourself, you're going to attract those kind of beings, or whether it's people, a being. And I think that's what happened for me is, I put the intent of being more spiritual, going back to being 100% spiritually aligned every day. And I feel why I even ran into Abhi the way I did, and beyond that, found you transformed and you, because
Lots of stories.
the
Yes.
elevation that I've had, yes, I would do my meditation, but it was like checking a box prior to
Yes.
that. But the elevations, especially in the retreats, and then the community around the retreats,
Yes.
you also you get a little bit of justification where you're like, okay, I'm not the only one going through this, and
Yeah.
I don't have to have a perfect meditation every day. But then the other thing you gain is, if I change this little thing about my meditation, it's going to make an impact, because we all learn differently. And there's a little bit of everything. There's the community aspect, there's the teachings, and then there's in the interactions with people, whether it's physically, energetically, you're experiencing together, and it's what I would have taken maybe 10 years to achieve. It's happened in a year.
And the energy work and the modalities, the healing modalities we use. My guides were showing me all this stuff. Say you need to do this, and I'm like, why? Do it. It'll be good for you. So I'd learn a modality, and then I'd learn another one, and I'd learn another one, and then now I know why, because all of these modalities are coming together in this time. So we have all these tools, all these modalities for healing self, healing others, connecting with higher consciousness, all these techniques, and then we practice them. That's the main thing. The tribe is about coming together in this unity of this transformation into higher consciousness, being one with each other, and it's just so profound.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the community is there for you in a way where you can pretty much ask any question that you want and not be
Not
judged.
pretty much.
Ex-
You can ask
Any
anything you
question.
want.
Pretty much, yeah. Anything, sure.
Pretty much. Where's your hesitation?
I mean,
You
this
can
is
ask me
this-
anything, Avi.
Same likewise. Maybe I'll change my wording there, but yeah, that's what I meant. So you can ask anything you want,
Yeah.
and still not be judged by it. And more so, it's gonna like there are people who went through. Probably there's gonna be similitudes in journeys, experiences, and there's always gonna be somebody to like help you out,
Yeah.
be it like life advice or spiritual advice.
Yeah. So if you had the tribe or community that was watching you go through that dark night of the soul, how do you think it would have impacted you back then? And then do you have any advice for people out there that are going through something, and the value of community? Can you talk about that?
Well, the value of the community is the connection of the hearts and the love, but it's also the perspectives, because you have a unified group of people who are diverse, and coming together with this diversity gives you the ability to have someone in that group that has a perspective that's close or maybe somewhat similar to someone who has a particular situation. And that's the power of this. Nobody is going to have all the answers, but all of us together, we have the answers
Yes.
for the most.
Napoleon Hill, back in Think and Grow Rich, he talked about the mastermind principle being the most profound distinction. That group, those 50-ish people that were part of that group, they could have taken on anything. They happened to be involved with steel, right? But that's the power. It's all these unique abilities aligned on a mission, coming together in service to one another. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, coming together in this focus of simplicity. We're being simple. We're being loving. We're being unconditionally loving with each other, and we're being simple in our approach. Taking the complexity out of life. That's part of the situation when people are coming or just waking up and something has happened in your life that's really destabilized you, And in coming into a group like this, you walk into a group that is energetically in balance. And it creates a field for you that supports you in your journey. Gives you an energetic stability to yourself, as well as other people, like I said, other people in the group that have probably been through something very similar, you know, to what you're going through. It's really, like I said, it's just so profound to find people who are energetically aligned with who you are wanting to be, even though you may not be there. You know you're wanting to change, and everybody in the group is going to love you. It does not matter what your problem has been, who you are, where you come from. It does not matter.
This goes back to your questions, right? Like, go back to the origins here, and what is the hardest part? You know, it's first off, it's acceptance. Like, oh, I don't like the way that I've actually been behaving, right? Or the way that I'm thinking, which is leading to behaviors towards myself, right? Which would be that self-love kind of proponent. And so to have others around that actually are seeing you on a spiritual level, that's a game change. How many times can you think back in your own experience of being around, you know, groups or ideals where it's all about what they're pushing and it's not about actually listening, right? And so this concept of soul design, being able to actually understand, like, what gives you your fuel, like what is actually going to keep your batteries full and recharge you constantly, and then having, you know, co-creative support around, you've got this, like, you're in your lane. I know you're an order soul, right? So now it's like I can process everything through that lens.
How do we communicate also in a way it's effective, not just for communication but also more deeper and intricate, right?
Well, and especially I don't have order in my soul design.
Yes,
like
I
it would
got
be
you.
very low. Yeah, Avi, please.
Get me those tangential experiences too on the way now.
You got it.
So yeah, every human being is unique, you know. So you guys have your unique energies.
Yep.
We have our unique energies. You know, I'm a love and order soul. You're a love and order soul.
Okay, so love is the primary?
Love is my
Symmetry.
primary, and order. So Shraddha and I resonate a lot.
Yeah.
And when I connect to her energy is more powerful to me because of the alignment with those particular energies.
So you're able to feel better.
Yeah, that's a very good way to say that. I feel it and I sense it in a greater way.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that she has more powerful energy than you or you.
No, it's
it just means that that's sort of an alignment
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And I have another soul that I connect with named Bree. Shout out to Bree.
Hey, Bree.
And Bree is a love and order soul, and she's a priest,
Oh, wow.
a priest energy. So I'm a priest. So when I connect with her, it's like,
Whoa.
Even
it's
more.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know, because we have all of these alignments that are working in that. So you have these resonance. So if I get in a group and I know everybody's soul design, you know, I know why this person acts the way this person does,
Yep.
or why they have a proclivity to resonate in one way or another. It's not they're going to be exactly like that, but you know, you can see that in people who have these designs, and it just, like in our group, in the tribe, we have a soul design area where we can all go in and put our soul designs in and work together and understand more about these unique energies and things that we have. The thing that I found out of doing these is generally I can get around someone and I know what I begin to get a feeling and I kind of know what their energies are, and I sense it because I've worked with it. And their human design type, I'm like, you know, I'm pretty well keyed in on what type of human design this person has. And that's a power. And it's a good power because I'm able to communicate with that person in a way that needs to be done for them to,
Yes.
for us to understand one another
Makes sense.
when I'm working with them.
Yeah.
But that's also very important with tribe, right? Because you also get soul design is part of the tribe, right?
Soul design is part of the tribe.
And I think you can share then experiences, because the way I experience meditations is different from the way Abby experiences meditations, from the way you experience, Tyler experiences meditations. But when you're sharing, with a communication soul, when I see you and Tegin, I've seen you guys go back and forth, and it's just like, it's like I see the sparks in the air, almost that. It's very interesting, and I've had my entire family go through soul design, and now I am more patient also, because I realize, okay,
The type of person.
the type of person, the need for, the actions that they're doing comes from wanting to align behind their divine qualities.
Yep.
And that's just been very transformational for our family.
That's awesome.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, soul designs are very handy in family. I said I've done all my children. I've done everyone in my family that I interact with, and so I know this soul,
Yeah.
So
I can be the best I can be,
Yep.
in interaction with this soul.
So one thing you've mentioned around soul design is, in our individual journeys, being able to develop that level of objective attunement, right? Because this is not like, you've done soul designs for some of my friends that you've never met, never seen a picture, nothing. And I've had hours and hours and hours of conversations around how, like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh, wait, it's just like epiphany. So is that something that, that we as individuals could look forward to through time, to be able to actually have that ability to tap into the Akashic records and,
Yes. Yes, it's a vibrational thing. Some people have the gift or the DNA turned on in their body, or the gift to be able to do that. They're born in with it. Some people have that and can do it. But I didn't come in with it. What I did is I awakened to the possibility, and then I worked on it. And but it's a thing of purity. Like I said, being a pure energetically, so that my frequency is higher, so that these energies are at a higher frequency. I'm able to tap into them more easily, and I don't have energies present in my system that sway what's in the record. That's where that's where a lot of Akashic readers fail, is they get into the system and they're not quite there, and they sway the information that's coming through. They get an inaccurate reading through there. You have to be a clear channel to really be able to read the records.
Have you gone in
Accurately.
and done readings at any point recently where you've noticed, no, I'm not actually attuned right now, I need to step out and get back in?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done that, and I can tell. I mean, the interesting thing is when I do one of these soul designs, if I'm getting an information for something, I'm sitting there going, that's not right. But what I do is I go on. I leave that, and I go on to the next, and I go through all the other information I want to get, and then I go back and look at it again, and then I'll get, another indication, or if I get the same thing again, I'm like, not sure about this, so I'll ask the record keeper. There's a record keeper who works with you as you go into the records, and I'll ask the record keeper, is this information that I have on this goal for this soul true and correct? And without fail, because I'm co-creating in that for the highest good with that other soul that's helping me in the records, I'll get the proper indication as to whether I need to get to look at some more. So I'll go through that process. I'll read the entire soul design, and then I'll go back and I'll ask the records keeper, do I have all the information on this soul's soul design true and correct? That's the magic words. True and correct.
And then what do you do if the answer is no?
Then I go back specifically and I say, did I get everything true and correct in this soul's primary and secondary divine energies?
You
Yeah.
get the specifics.
Did I get this soul's origin correct? True and correct. And I'll go through and I'll check each one of them off. And invariably what'll happen if the records keeper says, no, you don't have something, I'll go back through and I'll find it,
Going to make sense.
change it.
When did you first discover this ability?
Yeah.
Dinosaur era.
2011 or so, something like that. Just beginning to,
11 years?
just beginning to, kind of being shown that and that this is something, and getting really serious with it in 2017 maybe, really getting down into to working with it. I wasn't ready back in 2011. I mean, in 2011, I was pretty high vibration and was getting there.
Were you still doing your physical martial arts schools at that
Yes.
point? Okay.
Until 2020 you were, right?
Yeah, I retired in 2020.
Okay. So the physical energy work side has also been a huge component of your life until just recently.
Right. Not as much, not as much. When I turned 50, I had to turn down the physical side of it some because my body, I kept breaking down. Parts of my body kept breaking down. It couldn't handle the physical pressure. But I was physical with it up until, about 2020. I was still making videos, being active in videos, and grading tests and doing, just being the.
So you had a lot of experience also with the record keeping side, right? So like you're already working with so many souls on a physical level, and so you're seeing through their soul's experience, like what is motivating this person, how are they aligned,
Being a
and so
priest.
then right. And
I've
so
been
then-
using intuitive ability with my students for
probably forever.
30 years,
And then many lifetimes before.
and then probably many lifetimes before.
It's like being a priest over there.
Yeah. So it's like, you're right. I mean, and I've had thousands of students. I mean, thousands.
Wow.
So it's, we had our organization was fairly large for the online organization was big as far as martial arts. But just what you're saying is true. I mean, there's just lots of interaction where I'm needing to, in order for me to serve that individual and give them exactly what they need to do, I have to intuitively do it in a way. And I didn't always do it as well as I should, but I really endeavored to be the best I could be, for everybody. A lot of these modalities and things that I do, I started with Tai Chi and Qigong back before that even. I mean, probably 2007, something like that. Started working and mastering energy work, and had no idea it would lead to the stuff I'm doing now with it.
So join the tribe if you'd like more info and more connection. See all of our faces up in there,
Yep.
interacting. Are there any last words you guys would like to say on this one?
I'd just like to say that I thank you guys for being with us, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and
Thank you for the opportunity.
it was a